Hello, my name is Jenny, and it's May 28, 2018. I've had many videos to make and share, and I've been praying that the Lord would show me which one to start with. I felt like this one would be the first to share. I pray that it helps other women who may be in a similar situation. Back in 1989 and 90, I had just broken up 3 weeks earlier with Johnny. He was a wonderfully witty and accepting individual, but he was underemployed and had an addiction to alcohol and cocaine. The following event happened right before I met Scott, my present husband. I lived in a nice subdivision in a large southern city. There was a knock on my door in the middle of the night. I was alone because my children were with their father that weekend. I went to the door and saw that it was Johnny. We had had a fairly amicable split, and I had no reason to fear him, so I opened the door and realized immediately that he was falling down drunk. I had never seen him like that. He pushed me back inside and closed the door. That's when I realized he was holding a revolver. He cocked the gun, put it against my side, and said he was going to kill me. I was horrified at first, but immediately after that, I felt God's presence. God, or maybe an angel, whispered to me that I should remain completely calm and do whatever he said. Johnny held the loaded gun to my back as he ordered me up the stairs. I went up slowly, and he ordered me into a bedroom, and he told me to undress and get in the bed. I did as he told me. He told me again he was going to kill me, and he kept babbling on and on about me breaking up with him and that he loved me and no one was going to break up with him. God kept whispering in my ear to be very quiet and not to verbally or physically respond to any of the threats. Johnny ordered me to lay in the bed, and then he lay beside me with the gun against my head. The threats continued, but his voice got softer and softer. God told me to lay perfectly still and not move a muscle. He said that everything would be fine. Just wait. I felt like Johnny had gone to sleep by then, but God told me to wait and not move. After about 15 more minutes, God told me to slowly roll out of the bed, then quietly exit the room, get dressed, and grab my car keys. I did exactly what he said. I slipped out of the front door and got in my car. I cranked up the car and drove out of the subdivision and to the nearest payphone a mile or so away. Remember, no cell phones were back then. I called 911, and 2 police cars met me at the payphone. I told my story and got in the back of one of the patrol cars, and we drove back to the subdivision. One policeman stayed with me in the patrol car as the others crept inside. Several minutes later, they came back out with Johnny in handcuffs. They were going to charge him with kidnapping and other charges, and they asked me what I wanted them to do. I said I was willing to drop the charges if he would promise to stay away from my property and never try to talk to me again. If he didn't, he would be charged with all of these crimes. His loaded gun was also confiscated. A week or so later, I got a phone call from him apologizing profusely for what he did and thanking me for not pressing charges. That's the last time I ever saw him. I know God saved my life that night. I know I would have struggled and fought if God had not told me to be quiet. If you have not given your heart to Jesus and repented of your sins, please do so now as soon as possible. We don't know how long we have on this earth, and I pray that you make that decision for Jesus right now. Thank you for listening.